Welcome to today's episode of Abha's podcast, where we bring stories of resilience, advocacy, and change. Our guest today is Smitha Sadasivan, a trailblazing disability rights advocate. She lives in Chennai, India, living with multiple sclerosis since the age of 19. She has spent all her life in advocating for rights of persons with disabilities. She has played a crucial role with the Electoral Commission of India in making elections more inclusive. She is always involved in healthcare advocacy, healthcare accessibility for persons with disabilities, policy making, everything. She is known globally and nationally for her work in advocacy. She has won Shresth Divyanjan Award, that is the National Award for Persons with Disabilities from the President of India. So join us in her journey. Let us talk to her. Let us see how she works, how has she managed to do various things, her successes, and how she navigates, she helps others, and her unwavering commitment towards building more inclusive world. So welcome Smita to Abha's podcast.
Thank you so much, Abba.
So Smita, you have been an advocate for disability rights for many years. I've seen that. And someone who lives with multiple sclerosis, how has your personal journey or personal experience shaped your advocacy work, especially in healthcare?
Yeah, so in my early years, I have struggled a lot because I didn't have information, and it was a shock, sudden shock that occurred to me, and it it was a shock for my parents also. So as a family, we were struggling through the healthcare landscape. We didn't know what treatments to you know approach for or choose. We had a few options, but then even to figure out those options was very uh, what to say very traumatic.
Okay.
And then the doctor won't agree for our options, or they would force their options on us, and we didn't have a choice. So all these things happened. I got treated at government hospital, at the general hospital in Chennai, and also different private hospitals. So there is no much difference between a government hospital and a private hospital, because the choice, the informed consent, or the what to say the autonomy, or the safe space, so all these are lacking everywhere.
Mhm.
I'm talking about 20 years back, when I was in when I was diagnosed. It was 1999 October, and from then onwards, the next 3 to 4 years was really traumatic for me.
Mhm.
So slowly I was coming out. Then I could also understand so much of inaccessibility, so much of insensitivity in the healthcare system, which actually was in me, and I really wanted to work for health. So that was that was the seed in me, which I have been wanting to do that. When I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 1999, my issue was purely fatigue, and I even didn't realize that it is fatigue. I was totally sleeping. I was very active child in school days, and I was in college. I was doing karate, part of extracurricular activities. I was part of student union. So I never thought that I will get a disability or I will get sick. Whereas I didn't even realize when I was getting sick. I was simply sleeping, and my parents thought I'm getting lazy, and they gave me a lot of activities. I would just do those activities, and I would again go back to sleep. So this is what was happening until I was totally immobile. My bladder failed, and even when doctors pricked me with a pin, I didn't realize any sensation. And that is when we could we knew that I am into a serious issue and it was diagnosed as multiple sclerosis. So diagnosis of multiple sclerosis is not easy. We don't know how the symptom will evolve. So
Okay.
we have to keep an eye on whatever the symptom is and immediately go check with the doctors. And MRI is the best diagnostic tool for multiple sclerosis because all the other tests were negative for me. It was
Mhm.
only later stage when I had an MRI, then doctors could identify these lesions in my brain and spinal cord. And doctors told me that I can get relapse at any point of time, and the relapse can be very severe, where I may have to start from scratch. So I was given physiotherapy, started little by little walking, and the catheter was removed and all that. But again, in next 5 months, I again got back another attack,
Oh,
and my third or fourth attack relapse was vision loss, in total vision loss in both the eyes.
oh,
And again the steroid, all the medications, get admitted, and so again you have to start the treatment protocols. It's all traumatic, and the side effects of medicine, that also gives a lot of trouble. I got severe muscular cramps and neurotic, it became neurotic cramp, and only seizure medication could stop it. And I developed a hole in my duodenum because of the steroids, and that major surgery was done to close the hole, duodenal perforation closure, and many such things happened.
oh,
So it is traumatic for the person and the family, whereas what helps is the support circle, the as we see in the BLISS, the support circle, where they say you are not alone. There is a group of people experiencing the same condition, and these are the ways by which you can manage. So this kind of knowledge, is the right knowledge, helps a lot, and that is what we want in the health system also. When you get the right support system and the right knowledge, then you can manage like anybody else, and there is no looking back. You can just move forward. And yes, even today we have all those issues. I get relapses, but then I know what to do,
yeah.
and I am not panicking. And I know that from the relapse I can get better.
Oh,
So yeah, life moves on like that.
yeah. And this information would be very useful for the viewers, I think. And I believe that till now, people don't have proper information about multiple sclerosis. They are totally unaware of this issue, this
Yeah.
problem, right? So, how can, if anyone wants to know about this, how can they find information easily, especially in India?
Yeah, so we have the Multiple Sclerosis Society of India,
Hmm.
who have chapters across 9 states. We have 9 chapters in the country, and so the website of MSSI will give them more information. And also, you have to approach a senior neurologist to
Okay.
get more information and more treatment protocols and options
Hmm.
regarding MS. Right now, even today, many doctors don't know about multiple sclerosis. So it was very critical issue at the time when I was diagnosed, 20 years back or 25 years back.
Hmm.
But now the scene is better now, whereas even now there are issues. And MSSI together is trying to work on this, and there is collaboration with with the hospitals, with the government, with the disability department, and with the civil society, with people. So it is little better now, but then yeah, a long way to go.
Okay. So at present, you are a senior advisor for healthcare policy at Disability Rights India Foundation. So what do you think are the gaps in Indian healthcare system for persons with disabilities?
Right. So the inclusive healthcare is at stake. When I say inclusive healthcare, there are two things. Am I eligible to approach the current healthcare system? Yes. Am I allowed to use the healthcare system? Yes. But am I able to do that? Am I provided with disability support services? or am I provided an accessible and safe space?
Mhm.
Are the healthcare professionals sensitized about the all the disabilities, all the 21 disabilities? So answers for this is no. Why no? Because it is not, the policy is not inclusive. Where is the disaggregated data for persons with disabilities under at least one health policy? So there are umpteen different policies and different schemes, programs, brilliant programs the health ministry have come up with, like the e-sanjeevani or the telemanas, or different other schemes. We have the brilliant scheme of Makkalai Thedi Marthvam, where doctors or the healthcare professionals go door to door and provide healthcare support. But is it inclusive? At least those healthcare professionals are sensitive? No, nobody is sensitized about persons with disabilities. So this is what I am advocating with both the health ministry at the government of India and also the state health department. Dialogues are happening and they welcome us, they agree to our thoughts, they agree the issues that we are raising, but then action is not happening much in both central and the state.
So
That is
you mean to say that from policy perspective, we are okay, but at execution level, we are very poor. And
Even at policy perspective, we are not okay. That's what I am saying, because at the policy level, they have to sensitize the healthcare professionals. At
yeah.
the policy level, they have to make it accessible, which is not happening.
Hmm.
So it is only that the eligibility is there, or I am permitted, I am allowed to use the healthcare services, but are the services accessible so that I can use it? It is not usable for a person with disability.
Okay. Okay.
The policy says, yes, please come and use it, but where is the accessibility? Where are the disability support services? And where is the sensitization?
Yeah.
So all these are lacking.
Yeah. And access to healthcare insurance for persons with disabilities also critical issues in our country. And
Absolutely.
what do you think are the barriers for getting such kind of insurances, or is there is no such policy for healthcare insurance, or if it is there, it is discriminatory? How is that?
Correct. Correct. Earlier there was no healthcare policy for persons with disabilities, and the disability sector have been advocating for that. Then in 2023, after a rigorous advocacy with the IRDA came up with a circular that all insurance policies, all insurance companies should provide insurance products for persons with disabilities, and especially the healthcare insurance. And after that, the disability department is also working with IRDA and with multiple health insurance companies. Our disability department, that is the Department for Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, Government of India, also conducted a conclave with multiple insurance agencies and having experts from the insurance sector, from experts from the disability sector. But the dialogue ended like, um, the insurance companies totally agreed that they don't have a policy for us,
Yeah.
whereas what they are having right now is all kind of, what to say, a namesake, a minimal inclusion policy with a higher premium. So they also agreed, and they openly accepted their inability to come up with a suitable product for us. And they said like they would like to work with the government and do a pilot and all that. So we were also very hopeful, but till now, it's been more than a year. Actually, it happened in 23 November, the conclave.
Hmm.
And now we are in 25 May, and we
Mm.
don't have anything to say.
Yeah, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. So, when we are talking healthcare accessibility and such instruments like insurance and all, we mostly talk about public and private healthcare settings. what we
Mm.
say, like whenever we try to advocate for it. But what about the infrastructure in rural areas or underdeveloped areas? What about that?
Infrastructure as such is totally poor because they have the infrastructure but it is not accessible, and a person with disability is not able to approach it. Also the health information is not reaching people, and the health information is very very crucial for people in rural areas, also urban, whereas we do the browsing and we get some information from the internet and whatever. Rural people are totally dependent on the government for any health information, so the government has to provide health information in accessible formats for them,
Yeah.
which is not happening. And so they don't know what schemes are available or what they can go and ask for, what they are entitled to, even at a primary healthcare center,
Mm.
they don't know. So that is one thing. Second thing is the support system that is required around the health system. For example, how can I reach from home to the hospital or to the primary healthcare center? I
Mm.
need an accessible transport. I need a caregiver to support me, or any such things. Such support services are lacking. So I don't have the ability to reach the primary healthcare center, or I'm not having any support system. So
Mm.
I will stay at home until my disease gets worse.
Yeah.
And when does a person with disability ends up in a hospital, anybody for that matter, is when the disease is at its worst stage.
Mm. Mm.
So, then the disability is also worsening.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it is two things. One is about our maintenance of disability, managing the disability, and the other one is managing the health, the disease. So
Mm.
both get worse.
Mm. Mm.
That is why WHO have clearly said that people with disabilities have a 20 years lesser lifespan than
Yeah.
people who are not disabled,
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
because of it's totally because of the barriers.
Mm. And you have also worked with the Electoral Commission of India to make the electoral process more inclusive. So, how can such familiar approaches be used to ensure healthcare accessibility and healthcare services? Like in electoral process, they do,
Yes,
but they can also replicate that in healthcare settings, like in health screenings, if we may say, and emergency care for equal access for persons with disabilities.
absolutely, absolutely. That is why the disability support services are very, very crucial.
Mm.
And like we have a list of disability support services in the electoral process at the polling station. What should be the support mechanism? So such kind of a support mechanism should be available at any hospital and the primary healthcare center. So if the government can work that out and initially come up with a circular, then we can push and at the local level to make that implemented. And the local people can also support
Mm.
to make the system, the infrastructure accessible and all that. It is a collective support, collective effort, and a community effort. That's what we also saw in the electoral process, because when the ECI came up with a circular, there were many disability groups who pushed the agenda forward, who worked at the local level, who worked with the chief electoral officer's office at the state, who worked at the district level, at their own assembly constituency level, at the polling booth level, and that is how whatever change happened.
Mm.
So that needs a first step from the government to bring in a circular. With regard to circular, I also remember me and a few friends working with the health ministry, and the DPWD to come up with the healthcare accessibility standards.
Yeah.
Actually, the health ministry have notified it, but what has happened is it is not comprehensive. It has a good amount of information standards mentioned, whereas there are many crucial other aspects missing. And is it covering all the 21 disabilities? No, it is majorly covering the physical disability and the visually impaired, and to some extent the deaf people. Whereas the other blood disorders, or
Yeah.
the acid attack victims and other health disabilities, health conditions, all these are missing. Take for example an intellectual disability person who will have totally inaccessible infrastructure if he has to navigate alone.
Yeah.
So all these things are missing, and when the disability sector pointed this out, the department was saying that we will review it and whatever, but that is still not taken. And we also notified to the DPWD as well,
Mm.
but things are not moving fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And even
yeah.
in SRHR, sexual reproductive health care of, especially for women with disabilities, such things are missing.
Correct.
They cannot go out alone. They cannot talk to the doctors, or they are too shy to discuss their issues with them. There is a whole lot of stigma in that. So all these need to be covered. Yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I remember the VNR report, which we came up last time, where it was documented that women from rural areas, when they approach the primary healthcare centers and or the hospitals, local hospitals for SRHR services, the healthcare professionals didn't know how to deal with them or how to support them. Number one, and number two, rather than accepting their mistake and trying to identify or trying to evolve support systems, what they did is they shouted at women with disabilities,
Yeah.
saying that we already have a huge burden on of work here, and why are you giving us more work,
Yeah.
and don't you have anything else, and why do you need such services? It
Yeah.
is not for you.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of stigma that health professionals have
Yeah.
in the hospital setting.
Not only the health professionals, even the family members. Family members
Yeah, true,
don't
true.
want to talk about it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
So,
there is a large need of creating awareness from the government's part on all these things. And it is also mentioned in the act.
hmm.
So we are still waiting.
So you are a part of a project known as BLISS, Begin to Live Interdependently with Support System. And please let us know about this project. What is it? And are there any barriers, or are there any hindrances to such kind of projects, or what persons with disabilities face?
So BLISS is a very interesting project which is carried out by Vidyasagar in Chennai. And it is looking at the independent living of a person holistically. So it is also taking the lifespan approach and all the needs approach. So when we say independent living, it is not just living in the community, in residing in a locality or
Hmm.
at home, whereas what are the needs that a person will need on a day-to-day basis so that he can execute his independent living in a healthy and safe and happy way. So it is moving around that, and we are looking at physiotherapy or any rehabilitation, because health is very important, and fitness is very important. So but the issue is, after 18 years of age, many people with disabilities, they don't look at their health and fitness until 18 years. If they are in special school, they will be provided therapy and whatever,
Yeah.
but after they come out of school, adults lack those fitness. So physiotherapy and fitness is very important. That is one pillar, and the other pillars are uh, you know equality pillar, where we come up with a trust deed, where I will plan my way of life, or my parents will plan my way of life in advance, so that when parents are no more, the child can be the ward, the adult can be taken care in the same way, according to the preferences of the adult, the person with disability. So we are legalizing it and registering it as a trust deed, so that and it is also trialed when the parents are healthy and capable enough to support, so that when they become weak or when they are no more, the safe system continues for the child, and the child is not in a sudden shock or in somebody else's hands. So that is another pillar. And the other one is self-help groups. So how do you make yourself economically viable and also be socialized in a socializing environment? So that is one more pillar. And work or education. Work meaning, if somebody is not really working in an office or working in a um, in a unit, in a vocational unit, but everybody needs work, right? You need not be in a paid role, but then you need to do something.
Yeah.
So what is that kind of an activity that the adult can do and would like to do? So exploring that and giving that opportunity. And leisure, so to move out and once in a while, once in a week go to beach, once in a week or once in 2 weeks go to movie, catch up with your friends. So this is also one of the pillar which is in the BLISS project. So we are looking at the holistic component of a person to live independently within the community. And the other thing is group home. Group home is where either with one parent or without parent, with friends, you can live in a home which will be managed by us all. Like if the group home has 4 members or 3 members and one caretaker, so the 3 members will manage the home with the help of the caretaker, and one group home manager from Vidyasagar will oversee. Like there will be a group of persons with disabilities, with varied disabilities, who can complement each other. And is the setting right? Are the medicines being provided properly? Is the food being provided properly? So all these kind of overall managing will be done by a group home manager. So this is the kind of setting for living the group home aspect. So, and one more pillar is caregiver support. So we are training caregivers, because anybody caregiver is also a skilled job. It
Yeah.
is not an unskilled job that anybody can do. So what is that? What is the training that should go into their expertise and experience? That is being provided by Vidyasagar, and we have developed a cadre of caregivers. Everybody are appointed with some person with disability now, and they are supporting people with disabilities. So initial 3-month training on the overall support mechanism of persons with disabilities. And in addition to that, once the person is appointed to a person with disability, that person's particular requirements, particular needs will be oriented to them, and a detailed etiquette is also trained. So with all this, we have a safe and a knowledgeable caregiver support. So these are the pillars in BLISS with which we are working on.
So
We are doing a trial.
has this project been
Yeah.
launched, or is it like still in the pipeline? It is.
Yeah, it has been, it's been running right now. Like, I won't say it has been totally executed, but then, different pillars have been executed. Like, for example, the trust deed. We have formed trust deed for one adult with disability who has high support needs, and one more is in pipeline. It will be registered soon, her trust deed. So like this, for caregiver program has been launched, and it's been ninth batch we have been training. And so different pillars are working, but holistically like one person having all the support systems, that is being tried in one particular locality in
Mm.
Vidya, where Vidyasagar is located. We have nearly 22 parents living in this area, Koturpuram, where Vidyasagar is.
Mm.
And we are working with the parents on creating a community support circle. So that is also launched, but it is also been like a trial by the parents in one particular locality, and we are going to soon start in one more locality also within Chennai. So with this support circle, what we are meaning is, like when the child or an adult is in a particular locality, a community, he knows his surroundings, whereas nobody talks to him. So go and familiarize him, whether it is a vegetable vendor or a tender coconut vendor or a temple, a park. Take him to the park every week, same time, same day, and so he get friends. People know that okay, this person is coming here, and slowly people start talking, and they can get friends. And also the communication, enhancing the communication with the vegetable vendor, or any local cafeteria, so that the person knows okay, this person is coming, his communication will be like that, and we have to give the menu card in this way, and take the responses in a kind of fashion. So all these things we are trying to work out. And we are also having a park activity in Koturpuram to facilitate this more, where what we did is, another NGO who is working on environment, they planted a few trees, and our students are monitoring those trees regularly. And so the task is, our students will be educating people, visitors of the park, about the specialty of those plants. So this way we are enhancing the communication, and visitors will also not think, oh, poor disabled people, but they will get the information, so they know that they are on par. Okay, we are getting this information from them, and so
Yeah.
we are all equal, so something like that. This
So
is what we are trying.
I want to clarify one thing. So the
Yeah,
I in bliss, the letter I, does it stand for independent or interdependence?
interdependent.
Yeah.
Begin to live
Yeah.
interdependently with
Yeah, that
support
makes
system.
more sense.
Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, yes, absolutely. Because there is not nobody is independent in this
Yeah.
world.
Oh my.
Everybody are interdependent, and so
Yeah. So, Smita, you
yes.
have been awarded a national award by the President of India. And how was that feeling? Let us wrap it up with this question.
Um, it was really good to receive the award from the Honorable President, Madam Draupadi Murmu. And yeah, so I saw uh, many other friends also receiving the award, and everybody expert in their own domain and all that. It was really a great experience to mingle with all of them, and also to meet Madam President. Yeah, very lovely experience. And as a person with disability, and especially an advocate for disability rights, we have been facing a lot of insults also. We
Yeah.
have been facing a lot of trauma, a lot of struggles, and a lot of failures. And on top of all these things, when you get to know that okay, all this work is being recognized somewhere, then it gives a kind of a good feeling. But then, yeah, but we have a long way to go to achieve
Yeah,
what we want to
such
do.
awards are a kind of motivating force. It propels us
Yes, yes,
ahead. Yeah.
absolutely.
So that is
Absolutely.
wonderful. Thank you so much, Smita, for your time. And it was lovely talking.